What up, y'all? It's your boy, Sheik Luch, LOXD Block, Silverback. Hey, yo, right now I need to shout out the ISUPK classes.
I want to give a huge, big, humongous shout out to all the UPK schools.
Shout out to Black Watch, hosted by General Johanna. Bird, I need y'all to check out Cross the Line Radio as well, man. They've been open all week from 7 to 9. They ain't shut down because of the corona, the COVID, and all that. They rockin' strong, you know what I mean?
Think we got a problem, but really it ain't though. It's one of me, and these bitches I count about 3, 4. Think we got a problem, but homie just all talk. He ain't gon' pop a balloon with a pitchfork. Nah, think we got a problem in the club with this dog. Rude boys, dogs, ladies, everybody.
A lot of women in the school got mad at me. What?
Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh to the brothers. Yahweh Shemar, Yahweh Shemar, Thumba Shem Yahweh to the sisters. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, start out 1 West Hall, New York, 125th Street, under Commanding General Johanna. Tonight's the history class. Tonight, we are going to delve into the destruction of the black family. Like how did the oppressor come in and absolutely dismantle and destroy the black family? Like what were his tactics? What were some of the mechanisms he used to destroy the black family? We're gonna delve into one of those aspects. You had your hand raised, sir?
Yokes of iron.
Yokes of iron is definitely what he used also to destroy us. Anymore? Like he has many devices, this devil, this oppressor, this serpent, the wisest, the most cunning, rather, the most cunning beast in the field.
Drugs. Somebody said drugs.
Right, brothers. Like Shalom. Yeah, we're gonna work on that name. I'm like Captain Tazariak now. You brothers with these names, good Lord. Like we have to get a pronunciation course on how to pronounce some of these names. But shalom for you being in here. Justice in Hebrew. Okay, all right. Justice. Shalom for you being in here, Thawada. But what are some of the devices that the enemy uses to destroy the black family structure that we see today? Adawan said yokes of iron, which is absolutely true, because with those yokes of iron that he put around our neck, it instilled fear amongst the rest of the slaves. You know, when he does, when the white man, when the oppressor, because we don't want to get clipped. You know, we got now, you know, we're living in a sensitive time, a sensitive day and age where you gotta watch what you say. You gotta guard your lips. You gotta be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. And unfortunately, in today's age, your words can hurt. You know, they used to have a saying sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That isn't the case anymore. Words absolutely hurt. And they are policing words nowadays. They are policing words nowadays, like taking the father out of the household. This brother here is on point, because that is exactly what I am going into tonight, brother Justice. You said you may have spelled it wrong, but I will give you that. That is absolutely correct. They took the black father out of the household. And what were some of the mechanisms he used to do that? What was the main one that he used to do that? One big weapon that he wields when he wants the father out of the household. What is that? Go ahead.
So I get a woman.
It's the woman. It's through the woman. What's the weapon?
The weapon. Esau.
The weapon that I'm looking for. Do you know? No, the brother is on point again. Welfare, child support, government assistance. This brother is in class today. But the brother is in class today. This is an absolute truth. All right, don't get it confused. Like a beggar's life isn't a life worth leading, and unfortunately, the oppressor has our women. Like Adawan said, he uses our women. So what did he do? He does the same thing he's been doing since the beginning of time, since the beginning of creation.
Right.
He's been whispering in that woman's ear to get him to do to get her to do what he wants instead of what she should be doing, which is supporting and following her man and listening to her man and submitting to her man. All right. This is the problem. And this is the absolute way that the oppressor has came in and destroyed the family. We're gonna look at a documentary. It's an old documentary from 1973. That's the year I was born, right there. And we're gonna check this out. Let's see, how do I want to do this? All right, we'll do it this way. Y'all have to excuse me because I have a delayed response for some reason. Evil eye towards our brother. We're going to get that scripture tonight. Absolutely. This brother is in class tonight. Good Lord. He is on it. I like that. But we're going to see something right here. There may be a little eye-opening for some, but it shouldn't come as a surprise, because we've seen the welfare system work firsthand in most of our lives.
Right.
In most of our lives, we have seen the enemy's tools working firsthand. We have seen that sword being swung absolutely firsthand. All right. So let's get it.
CBS reports. What are we doing to our children? With CBS News correspondent Daniel Shore.
13 miles from Paul Bullard's home is a public housing project in familiar red brick, Perry Homes. It is like most such projects in most big cities. And cemented into the red brick are a series of public policies that work against the children of the poor. Because housing for the poor is scarce, the 1,100 apartments hold not the officially registered 6,000, but with unofficial residents, relatives, and friends, more like 8,000. Because mothers travel up to 4 hours a day to work in downtown office buildings or suburban homes, their children are left to care for each other or for themselves, and drug abuse is rampant. Because family planning measures have lagged, there are many teenage mothers.
Do you find that there is an incidence of young girls becoming pregnant?
Yes, we have a high rate of that too.
At about what age?
Well, I used to say age 14, but I think I'm having to back up and say age 12.
Because the poor are shortchanged on education, it may take 2 years to get testing for a child with learning problems. And the Perry Homes schools have reading levels among the lowest in the city. Because Perry Homes was planned on a minimum budget, there are few places for children to play. Because of the same kind of planning, Perry Homes has no doctor, no dentist, no pharmacy. Nearby, there is a well baby clinic, but no sick baby clinic. And the sick must travel 12 miles to wait for attention at Grady Memorial Hospital. And partly because of the general rule that welfare is cut off if they
All right? 1 out of every 3 black families own their home.
Right.
Before integration. That was before integration began in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 1973. So understand when you're watching this that this is a result of intermingling with Esau, integrating.
Right.
This is a result of Martin Luther King's dream.
Damn right. I was just about to hit on that. This is a direct result of that dream, that nightmare. All right.
It's freaky stuff.
if there is a man in the house, fathers are often driven away
Let me pull that
so
back.
that mother and children can. There are few places for children to play. Because of the same kind of planning, Perry Homes has no doctor, no dentist, no pharmacy. Nearby, there is a well baby clinic, but no sick baby clinic. And the sick must travel 12 miles to wait for attention at Grady Memorial Hospital. And partly because of the general rule that welfare is cut off if there is a man in the house, fathers are often driven away so that mother and children can eat.
85% of the head of household is a woman, because most of the men who should be in the household, they cannot make a decent living. And of course, it is better to know that a child will be fed 12 months out of the year than 3 months, which during the summer when construction work you can make decent living.
Now, what she just said was so heavy, because that lets you know that that man doesn't really want to leave that household. But because of the oppression that this devil has us under, because we can't find work, we have to take work wherever we can. And because of that, it takes us away from the household and for 9 months out of the 12 months in the year.
Right.
You know what I mean? And because of that, because the enemy knows that, he comes up with this scheme, these laws that he set in place to say, like, it's just like the Garden of Eden,
Right.
whispering that woman's ears,
Right.
saying something real seductive to that woman, saying something real attractive to these sisters, so that they can make a decision that will ultimately ruin and dismantle the household structure. Go ahead.
And another thing, if I may, what you're bringing out tonight is real heavy, right? That process of of giving the information to the woman that the man has to be out of the house, a lot of women that empowers them.
Right.
And
right.
it's faster and easier to say, get the hell out of here.
Right.
Get out of my house. Do something crazy to push the brother out. You know what I'm saying? So this is the snowball effect of getting the man out of the house, having the man out of the house. Then it may not be that. It may be some form of, okay, so listen, you got to act like you don't live here. And if they come check, because they used to come to our home, our house, and check to see if my dad was there. So he would have to hide. You know what I'm saying? Right. So all of that right there, that starts to break down the man.
Right. Right.
You have to understand the psychological effect of welfare. It's not just the man not being in the house. It's a psychological effect that's affecting everybody. One more thing, from the wife to the husband down to the children. Even the damn dog is affected.
From the husband, Slocky, sir. From the husband to the wife, down to the children.
To the dog.
Because we want to keep things
in
the order. Right. You know what I mean? Because the Most High gave us an order, told us how we should be, and told us how we should have our household, what order our household should be in. And that's found in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3.
Let me read it.
You can definitely read that. And y'all can definitely hear me because we got a response in the chat. Good. I was just going to ask. Now, Danisha, can you hear the audio of the video when we play? When we play the video, is the audio clear? If you are in the chat, can give me a con or not or la if you can hear that video, because we want everyone to hear everything that we play tonight. We want you all to hear it because it's some vital information that is coming out, and it's not like it's hidden information. It's not like it's something that's like how can I say it? This is well known. This is widely broadcast information. You know what I mean? But we as a people, when we receive this information, like when our woman goes to do and file for SNAP, welfare benefits, or whatever have you, EBT, whatever have you, like in the forefront of her mind, she's not thinking about what this is going to do to the rest of her family structure. No, she doesn't think like that. She thinks, all right, I need this because this nigga just left. You know what I mean? And because he left, I got to do something to make sure that me and these kids can eat.
Right.
You understand? But the enemy is so conniving and so subtle, you know what I mean, that his game plan, his master plan is going on without a hitch, without us even knowing that he is absolutely involved in every step of the way of that process,
right,
and of that thinking, that mindset. All right. Did you have something else?
I wanted to add too that the sisters got to understand when they listening to these classes and getting these breakdowns, you have to apply them to your life.
Damn right.
Don't just come to class or sit in class and listen to these breakdowns and listen to it and say, you know, that's what's going on. Yeah, and, you know, you give praises to what we're saying, but yet you're not going home and applying it or going out in the world and applying these things. You have to understand that you are holy. Holy means you're set apart.
Damn right.
All right, you're set apart, and these classes, the ISUPK is put in place so that you can learn, how to start walking in being set apart, walking in being holy. All right. Damn. So I got that precepts. If you want to start.
Yeah.
All right. This is the book of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Paul says, be ye followers of me, even as I am of Christ.
Right. Paul saying, follow me because I'm following Christ. I know what I'm doing. I'm following Christ. So just do as I do. Follow me. All right, go ahead.
Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things,
Right.
and keep the ordinances as I deliver them.
Keep the what?
The ordinances.
Keep the what?
The ordinances.
You got to keep these ordinances as Paul has delivered them to us. And he delivered them to us through the revelation of Christ. Christ gave them this knowledge.
Right.
He didn't go somewhere and just came up with this all on his own. No. Christ, Yahushua gave him this revelation, gave him this knowledge, gave him the abundance of revelations that Paul talks about in other parts of his epistles. You understand? And go ahead, read that next verse.
Verse 3.
He's going to tell us now what one of these ordinances are. Go ahead.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Head of every man is Christ. That's why I don't have anything covering my head, because my head is Yahushua. You understand? Go ahead.
And the head of the woman is Christ, is the man. Salaki.
And the head of the woman, every woman.
Salaki, it says the head of woman is a man.
And the head of woman is the man. All right? That's why she has her head covered, because her covering, her head is her husband, her man. And if you're not married, it will be the camp leader in your zone. It'll be the captains, the generals. These are people that you need to look to be your heads, to be your protection. You understand? Because this is why the oppressor wants the man out of the house, so he can spoil the house. And we're going to get that scripture about how he binds the strong man. What's that?
That's it.
Sorry.
So, like, if I may,
go ahead.
One thing about this precept right here, when it says, and the head of the woman is the man, this is the complete opposite of welfare. Welfare ain't teaching this right
here.
Welfare is saying, listen, get rid of him.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. Get rid of him. You don't need him. So this is a complete opposite of that.
All right. Right.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. So that gives you the order on how we ought to operate our household. We should be looking to Yahushua. All right. Doing the things that he commanded us to do. The woman should be receiving instruction from her husband, who is in tune with Yahushua, all right? Because he's receiving his instruction from Yahushua. If you're in the school, we receive our instruction from Commanding General Yohanan on down to all the generals and the captains and the officers. And that's the rank and order system of the ISUPK, all right? And Commander General Yohanan don't report to anyone but Yahushua. Let's get that understood. All right. That's it on that. Before we go more into that video, go to Genesis real quick. Genesis chapter 3. Give me Genesis 3 and where is it at? Three and 16.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3.
Genesis.
Salaki. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 16.
Right.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 16. Unto the woman he said,
this is the Most High talking to the woman after she listened to the serpent. Go ahead.
I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
Right. You're gonna have pain when you have childbirth. You're gonna have sorrow. It's gonna be the birth pains. It's gonna, like some women say, man, I had a rough pregnancy and whatnot. You know what I mean? All that is because of Eve. Keep reading.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
All right. Here's the kicker.
Uh-oh. And thy desire.
Thy what?
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Your desire should be to your husband. But we have so many rebellious women out here because this scripture don't say should. It says shall. But we have so many rebellious women out here who has fallen under the spell of Beyonce's independent woman,
right.
And all that nonsense that they promote since 1964, actually, when Title VII of the Civil Rights Movement gave these certain rights to women, and you can't discriminate based on sexes and all that type of stuff. So what that does to the woman, it goes to their head, because now they starting to think without the proper order. They're gonna skip their head, which is their husband, and just go straight to the servant. All right, and that's what destroyed the black family. Finish that verse up. Start with and thy desire.
And Salakia, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Right, and he shall rule over thee. Like he's your head. This is 1 Corinthians 11:3. All right. So Paul isn't teaching anything different than what's already been written in Scripture.
Right.
Nothing. All right. So we're gonna get back to this video.
The man in the house rule was written to prevent welfare cheating, to make sure that aid to families with dependent children would go only to families headed by mothers. But the effect of the man in the house rule is to create for children an atmosphere of investigation and surveillance. And thus, the welfare system in its operation turns out to be a system to make life harder for children.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? The welfare system itself makes it harder for the children.
Right.
It makes it harder because they're constantly under surveillance. They're constantly like if you was a child living up in during this type of environment and under these type of circumstances, your mom gonna school you, right? She's gonna be like, look, if them people come, make sure you hurry up and come and tell me so we can do this and we can do that so we can do this. So the child is constantly on alert. Just like they just said, they're under surveillance, and their head is always on the swivel, looking for the man. Go ahead.
So like if I may, that's why I was just saying, that's me. It was since 1973. I was just born.
Wow.
I was a baby,
Yeah.
but I lived that, and my head was on the swivel. Like I said, we had to hide that. He couldn't be in the house. You know what I'm saying? But it made him look weak.
Right.
You know, to him, he feels as though he's doing something heroic. He's doing something for his family because his family is getting some crumbs that fall from America's table. But in reality, in my eyes, it made him look weak to me.
Right.
Because he's running and hiding, and we lived in the projects, and he would have to climb out the window. You know, do whatever it took to make sure that there's no man in the house.
Wow. And imagine that. Like you said, Ottawa, it definitely makes you look weak. And just imagine your kids seeing that weakness. All right. What are they going to grow up and be? They're going to grow up to be just like the example that they're looking at. All right.
The welfare system helps the disintegration of the American family.
Oh, stop. This is the devil himself. He said the welfare system helps the disintegration of the American family.
Right.
What he really want to say is the black family, though. All right? Because I can almost guarantee you they're not doing this with the oppressors side. They're not doing all these welfare checks and all this so forth and so on, policing, all this policing that they do, because the statistics say that it's more of them on welfare than it is us. But yet we get their undivided attention. Why? Because it's oppression. And because it's oppression, all of us should be mad, because oppression makes a wise man mad. That's what scripture says.
It offers money to families if the fathers will leave them and stay away. In that sense, undoing the very stability of the family and taking away one of the two parents the children, of course, need. And what I have seen, I'm afraid to say, all over the country is that the legal system works against the best kind of home for these children. We don't encourage parents to be at home with the children. We don't encourage mothers to feel that they can find their destiny as mothers. We take away, in many of the most vulnerable homes, fathers from those homes. We herd foster children together in institutions rather than trying to find decent homes for them. We don't tap the resources we have in communities and with respect to older people so that they can help out vulnerable homes. We don't sanction, encourage, and support in every way, morally, psychologically, and financially, the dignity and integrity of the home. And in the worst of it is that the homes that are most vulnerable are the homes that are least supported by the policies of local, state, and federal governments. And no wonder then, out of these more vulnerable neighborhoods, we get an endless cycle of troubled, delinquent, wayward youth who grow up even more and become the lawbreakers of our society. Now, I don't know how you break this cycle except by starting out with young children.
Now, what he just said was so heavy as to this respect, right? Because everything that he just mentioned, we had when we were together as a community. Right. We had our grandmama and the papa of the communities looking out. You know what I mean? Everyone was more together. Everyone pitched in. Everyone helped out. We knew our neighbors. We knew our like we had a family structure. We had genuine love one for another. And when this devil infiltrated these homes through their policies, just like he just said, through their policies, through the government issuing these different laws that they put in place. Let me get Daniel chapter 8, Daniel chapter 7 and 25 first.
You said Daniel 7 and 25?
Come.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Right.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Right. That's what he's doing right now. He's wearing us out. He's wearing us out, completely wearing us out by all these oppressions, the different forms of oppression that he instituted. Keep going.
And think to change times and laws.
And what?
And think to change times and laws.
And he thinks to change times and laws. Drop that. Give me 8 and 20. What's that? 24.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power.
Right. This ain't something that he got on his own. Like, we have to allow him these things. Like if we had our moral compass like we should, he couldn't do nothing for us.
Right.
He couldn't do nothing against us, rather. He wouldn't even have be able to get a foothold into our house if we were to uphold and maintain our morality, which comes in these laws, statutes, and commandments. Keep reading.
And he shall destroy wonderfully.
Right, that's what he did. Look up. I know you all see it. It's like, cause we're the talk. We're the talk of the town. The black community is the talk of the town. Specifically, black men. We're no good. We're this. We're that. We're hoodlums. We're everything but a child of God.
Right.
Everything but a child of God. Keep reading.
And shall prosper.
And he's going to prosper, and he has prospered.
And practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
He definitely destroyed us. Keep reading, verse 25.
And through his policy.
And through his what?
And through his policy.
Welfare program. The welfare program is one of his policies. All right? Feminist movement. That's another one of his policies that we fall victim to. Keep reading.
Salakia. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
That's what is going to happen, because as we continue to come back here in the ISUPK to our heritage, our laws, statutes, and commandments, we're breaking his hold on us. We're breaking his hand. That hand that he has around us, that stronghold that he has on us is being broken because we're coming back to the Most High.
Right.
And the Most High is fighting our battles. All right. I'm gonna stop this because I want to go to a different one real quick. Like we have to be mindful of all the tools, the weaponry that the enemy uses. It's not always physical. It's not always physical. The physical part is over. Mostly all of our battle it's not over, but most of all of our battles that we're fighting right now is psychological. We're in information. We're in an information war right now because they're trying to tell us that such and such is right, and we're saying no, such and such is right. All right. We have a difference of opinion. We have a difference of beliefs. We have a difference of morale. And because we're getting our morale from this Bible that they're saying that they are a nation under, they're saying they're one nation under God, right? But yet there's nothing that they're doing that the Most High has commanded us through his word to do. They're doing everything completely opposite. All right. Let me see here. Which one I want to go to next? I want to show you all something. No. Salah. I'm gonna get I'm gonna show you all this. This sister, I don't know if y'all heard. I know most of y'all probably may have heard of her. I know Captain Tazaiwan has brought out her book before, or a passage in her book rather, the Shahrazad Ali. Now this sister has some strong words for you sisters, if you're willing to take heed, because this can help heal that black family unit if you take heed to what this sister is saying, because you know, like our people are funny, man. Like if we try to tell you the same thing that she's telling you, you'll have a deaf ear. Like it's going to go through one ear out the other. It's probably going to do the same thing with this sister because you love to just be selfish. You love to satisfy that flesh. You love to just be about me, 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 me. You have fallen for the witchcraft that America has put out through their through their media system, through their newspapers, through their entertainment, through their music. You have fell hook, line, and sinker for every message that the oppressor promotes. Every message. And it's time that we come back to our culture, our heritage, and what we should be about as a nation of people. All right. I'm gonna play this.
My position is that the black woman's disrespect and rebellion against the leadership and the authority of the black man is a direct cause of a breakdown in our black family structure.
She came in swinging.
Right.
Boom. Listen, she came in swinging. Now, who can say she's wrong? Who can say she's wrong? I challenge you. Like this is a direct cause of the destruction of the black family. It's because we have fell for that. Our sisters rather have fell for that voice that's in their ear from the oppressor. They have the only image they've seen is the image of our oppressor. They measure beauty by what they see from our oppressor. The way they act, they mimic what they see from our oppressor. Understand? We don't have our own culture, our own heritage that we embrace because we're too busy worrying about others and being accepted by others. And that's the fallacy of raising a nation. Like you can't raise a nation like that. You have to reject the other and embrace yours. All right. But the first comes the knowledge that you have a culture. And that's what we here in the ISUPK teach. We teach that you have a culture and a heritage that the Most High is trying to give you back. Like he's trying to give it to you. But not every ear is able to hear and not every eye is able to see. All right.
And of course, there are many black people who consider those fighting words because as black women, we have never been subject to the kind of examination that our men have been subject to since we have been here. We have been somewhat protected and shielded from any kind of critiquing about our personal behavior, whereas our men have always been up for examination. The book is not an attack on black women. I have never said that all black women do everything that I list in my book. None of us have lived long enough to do everything that I list in the book, but most of us do some of the things that I've listed in my book. And I do say that it is not because of generalizations that we are all victimized by some of the negative patterns of behavior in the book, but the book just represents our collective contribution. This is some of everything that we have done, or that we do daily, that contributes to the breakup of our relationship, the destruction of our man, and the failure of our children to be able to function. They did not tell us that all of that being my own person and I'm independent would lead to separation, loneliness, celibacy, and lesbianism.
Did you hear? They didn't tell you all of that when they was encouraging you, girl. You can do it on your own. You can do this on your. They didn't tell you that you was. On the other hand, you was gonna be lonely. You was gonna turn into some. You gotta watch what you say.
So, like, if I may,
go ahead.
Another heavy thing too is I'm starting to notice a lot of these women, these sisters, they got young boys, they got sons. So when you dogging your husband or you dogging your head, the father of your child, you're bringing harm to your own child. Remember, that child has to grow up and become an adult, a grown man just as well. So you have to understand that's what's going on, and it turned into a repeating cycle. Like what she's saying is so heavy. It's so heavy. It's so heavy.
Right, damn right. Because she's laying it out raw and uncut. All right, she's giving it to us raw and uncut, and I can appreciate that.
So I get my man.
Go ahead.
Can I be something?
Come.
I want to go to 1 Ezra,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 4, and we're gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start at verse 20.
All right.
All right. This is the book of 1 Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 20. A man leaves his own father and Slakia. A man leaves his own father that brought him up in his own country and cleave unto his wife.
Right.
This is the mentality that brothers have, right? Verse 21. He sticketh not, again, Slakia. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife. He remembered neither his father, nor mother, nor country. So he's sticking to his wife. He's sticking to his wife. Verse 22. By this also ye must know that a woman have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? Yea, a man take his sword and go his way to rob and steal and sell upon the sea and upon in the river, and looketh upon a lion, and goeth in the darkness. And when he had stolen spoils and robbed, he bringeth to his love. He bringeth to his love. Wherefore a man love his wife better than his mother and father. Yes, many there be that have run out of their wits for women,
right,
and became servants for their sake. So we became slaves to that, trying to fight. I brought that out because we try to fight against this system that's breaking us down in her mind, and she's acting on it. And we trying to fight against it, and we try to do everything we can. We compromise everything we can to try to make this woman happy, and we bring all those spoils, everything home to her.
Right.
And guess what? Next thing you know, you go out of your mind. You go out of your mind trying to do everything you can for this woman, and next thing you know, she's gone. Now she didn't pick the man that how you supposed to have been.
Right.
So it's really important to understand that what this woman is bringing out right here, the sisters got to understand they got to take it with them.
Damn right.
They really got to take it with them and understand you got little sons that's going to grow up to be a man.
Right. And she's giving you real game right here on how to really be a nation, your own nation.
If I may,
how to embrace your own culture, your own identity, your own heritage, your own love for your own people. Go ahead.
One more verse.
Come.
This is the 1 Ezra chapter 4 verse 27. And many also have perished. Many men have perished over women. Many men are laying right now in their graves over women. Many men right now is in the prison right now over women.
Right.
Many women have lost their mind, like the scripture says, has lost their wit and became a servant to a woman. Right? It says, have error and sin for a woman.
Right. You're right. You damn right. Because why don't tell me you only going out to sell drugs just because you like selling drugs.
Right.
Nah, that ain't the truth at all. You selling drugs because you want as many women as that little so-called prestige can get you. You understand? As that flossing can get you, as that stunting can get you. You want to try to trap as many bees with that honey as you can.
Right.
All right. Let's get back to it.
They didn't tell us that if you give up a man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, my own car, so I don't need no man.
Right.
I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with being with no man. We have some serious relationship problems that nobody has been able to address us on because everybody wants to pretend that this is not going on.
So I get
Right.
You don't hear all the clapping either.
Yeah, you don't. But she just hit a valid point. We like to pretend. We living in a fantasy world. We want to pretend that this is the normal. This is how life should be. Like nah, this is a fairy tale. You're trying to fulfill a fairy tale. You're trying to fulfill a dream. Just like Martin Luther King. Just like Martin Luther King, you had a dream too. You know what I mean? That dream was contagious.
Over 60% of our women are single, widowed, separated, or divorced. They don't have a man. I just came out of Florida and they got a housing complex that the Urban League built, which is a black organization that is for women and children only. They say they don't allow any men in there. I didn't have time to deal with it, but I talked about them real bad. That's the silliest program I've ever heard of. The women that have men if they got a bunch of children. They
Right.
need fathers. They need protection. We hear about the drug problem that we have in our projects across the country. It's one of the major places that we have a drug problem. We talk about the great strength that we have as black women. Well, the welfare department don't rent government apartments to single black women. Those apartments belong to black women who are allowing this to go on in their home. We have not looked at what part of the responsibility do we share. Yes, black men sell a lot of drugs, and a lot of us black women get the money from them drugs and buy some of these fancy clothes we wear.
Right. And Ottawa, you just hit on that point with this scripture. Just hit on that point with this scripture. Read 1 Ezra 4:27 again.
This is the book of 1 Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 27. Many also have perished in error and sin for a woman.
For a woman. Good night.
Drive around in some of these fancy cars. He is not doing these things alone and without support from us, whether they are good or bad. See, we have a lot of power. We are very, very strong women. I'm saying that we're using our strength in the wrong direction. We're using it to tear our man down, tear our nation down instead of building it up. Having an education and a job does not necessarily mean you have a successful life. I keep telling black women that to raise a child, they say, well, I provided with food, clothing, and shelter. That's not raising a child, that's maintaining one. To raise a child, you need a parental coalition of a man and a woman.
I thought that was a heavy point that she just made right there. Because women love to say, I'm the mom and the dad in here. I can raise my son better than you, and all this and that, this and that, this and that, this and that. No, you're not raising, you're maintaining that child, because that child ain't got the morality and the principles that can be instilled in him with both of the parents being present. It's just impossible for it to be instilled with only one parent. He has to have that male leadership and guidance and protection growing up to get the balance. Or else you're going to have a bunch of 65 little boys out here who don't know how to express themselves, who don't know how to talk, who don't know how to control their anger. And you understand, who's going off of emotion because what? That's what we seen mama do.
Right.
Sad. It's sad. And if you don't see the need for both parents in the household by now, and we only been on this live for about an hour now, then Lord be with you. No, Lord be with you. Because it's vital that we go to mend these broken relationships, these broken families, and that's what the ISUPK does.
Right.
We keep black families together. We don't get a woman and throw her away. You understand? We keep our women. However many that may be, we keep them all. Because we are told by our Constitution that sex is marriage. And that the only, Yahweh Shai said that in the beginning, it wasn't so. When they asked the question about divorce, he said, Moses, because of the hardness of your heart allowed. But in the beginning, it wasn't so. You understand? But except for fornication and adultery, that's the only way you can leave your rib or vice versa. You understand?
Have sons who are, by not having a father in the home, they don't know how to respect women. They take on a black female emotionalism. They're doubtful. They're indecisive. They can't make a decision. They don't know what to do about being a man because we can't teach them that. We don't have that knowledge. We have daughters who grow up in a home where they don't see any affection, where there's no man there. They go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have no idea how to be no woman to no man, how to make a function in a house with a man, because they haven't seen it. Most of our children, just like us, get all the information we have about how you be with a mate off television. It's the only medium that shows us everybody being together. Those rules have not worked for us. The white
right, because what they show on television, majority of what they show on television is our oppressors' households. It doesn't show us how we are to be in our household. What we have, what we have? Good Times, Cosby Show. What other show we had that was all black, that taught us that tried to teach us some kind of values. We had Good Times, Cosby Show, and what else? Out of line. What else? What other television shows did we have that we can see, that we can say, okay, this is what I should model my family structure after. Like all we have is the oppressors ideal of what a family structure should be. That's all, and that's what we mimic in our individual households. You understand? And that's a fallacy. That's not our heritage. That's not our culture.
Women's liberation movement. We don't have anything to do with that. We have not been under the control of the.
I'm gonna rewind it.
Most of our children, just like us, get all the information we have about how you be with a mate off television.
Right.
It's the only medium that shows us everybody being together. Those rules have not worked for us. The white women's liberation movement, we don't have anything to do with that. We have not been under the control of the black man for over 500 years. So what do we have to get liberated from it from?
3 people.
They have a bad laws.
3 claps.
That's the white woman and her man. They're going through that, and that's their business.
Right.
We don't have no business being in that. They only introduced it to break down the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement started with the black man, the black woman, and the black child standing together, trying to plead for freedom, justice, and equality, and more benefits in the country that they had not given. They threw the white woman in there with the women's liberation movement and made it a woman against man thing.
Right.
That's the cunning craftiness. Right. That's the cunning craftiness of our oppressor. That's the cunning craftiness. Who was that? What's that chick? Gloria Steinem or something like that? Is that her name? I think her name was Gloria Steinem. Is that her name? Is the one that for this feminism, the feminist movement? I believe it's Gloria Steinem. If anybody in the chat know, they can let me know if I got that correct. All right.
So, like, if I may,
go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus. So, like it. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 9. It's about the children of Israel being in Egypt and them dealing with us, like you said, crafty. It says, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 9. And he said unto the people, this is Pharaoh, said unto the people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. And that's talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
And it's saying the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are more mightier than we. Come on, and let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. So they dealt wisely with us in Egypt, and the same thing as the sister is saying now. She's laying out the fact that they're dealing wisely with us in the spiritual Egypt.
Right, calm. So the water for that, because you hitting it on the head. And this system right here, man, like she needs to be in ISUPK, teaching the other sisters in the UPK. You understand? This message, the way she delivered it, some of these sisters need to be hearing it. I'm Salaki, but some need to hear it straight, raw, and uncut, just like that. Just like that. They get it from the journals, but for some reason it just hit different when it comes from someone of their own sex. You understand?
Created a big separation between black men and black women, because then everybody starts going for self. Then they bring the welfare system in and tell us in order to feed and clothe and house our children, we have to give up our man. We have to put the man out of the house. When the white farm wife goes to the government for subsidy for the farm, they don't tell her to get rid of the farmer. They keep that family together. But in the black community, they make it a requirement, because they want to keep endorsing into the black community that the black man is no good. And that he is not deserving of respect, he is not deserving of us letting him give us any protection or instruction, and that we are better than them. The major responsibility that the black woman has had on earth for the trillions of years that we have been here has been one of nutrition and birthing children. Those two things have a great deal to do with the survival of any people, the reproduction of the nation, and feeding them the proper food so that they can live. Those are very important jobs. Those are very powerful positions, because it puts us in a position to decide who's going to live or die, and how slow they're going to die, and what we feed them. We have a very powerful position. That's not a small role that we play. We have just
right, and it's not. And our women should take their role very, very seriously when it comes to building up this nation, building up this kingdom. We have to take each and everyone has to play their position. All right, everybody can't be the head. Everybody can't be an arm. Everybody can't be a leg. Everybody can't be a foot. All right. Everybody has their different duties and responsibilities and roles, and that we just have to abide by those different roles. All right. I'm gonna drop this. Let me get Mark 3:27, Bob Kashad.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
You got to get rid of that man. This is what we've been talking about this whole class. We've been talking about binding the strong. We've been showing you how the oppressor has bound the strong man so that he can come in and spoil the house. Just come in and just ravish the household. You know, his policies, his thoughts, and his spirit is all in the black household because the man isn't there. So we're acting beyond ourselves. We're acting unnatural. We're not acting in our natural state. We're acting unnatural. All right.
If I may,
go ahead.
This word bind, it comes from a word that means, this is the definition, to throw in chains, metaphorically. Satan is said to bind up a woman that been together. But the point is, it's so heavy when it talks about bind. You must first bind the strong man, because it's not saying that you got to go and tie him up.
Right.
This is a metaphor.
Right.
It's saying spiritually you got to make him weak. The very thing that we talk about in the ISUPK. All right. That man he has entered into the strong man's house and binded his mind. He binded his strength. he binded his courage,
Right.
and now he has become weak.
Right.
And we have the solution here under Commander General Yana and the ISUPK.
Damn right.
Come on and get that power back.
Damn
Get
right.
the chains off of you.
Damn right. Damn right. And I know y'all seen the screensaver with Blueface and Krishan. If y'all don't know what's going on with them, we're gonna, if we have time, we're gonna get into a little bit of that. All right, because they are a direct byproduct of what's going on right now. If not them, then maybe their parents are a byproduct of it. You understand? But someone has been affected by this devilry, by this witchcraft, by this sorcery that's been going on, called the welfare system. All right, in government assistance. But here's an interview that I found with this sister, and I thought it was a great interview, and I want to share just a couple of minutes of it with you.
Say in your book. Okay, now I'm quoting. Okay. The black man in America is the only male on earth, including every continent, who is disrespected by the women in his nation. That's true. This situation does not exist anyplace else among the billions of people inhabiting our planet, except here in America. That's right. The other black men, the yellow men, the red men, the brown men, and the white men are all honored and respected by their respective nations. All other women recognize and accept that the man is the authority, the ruler, and the leader. Only here in the United States, in the black nation, scattered throughout the United States, is the black man neglected. That's pretty powerful. And
now, before she answered that, like, why is that only here in the belly of the beast? Do we have this problem? Like maybe I just gave you the answer. We are in the belly of the beast. This is Mystery Babylon. This is spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. All right. This is it. This is the place. This is the place right here. You don't have to go searching for another land or somewhere else where this Mystery Babylon that you keep reading about in Revelations is at. If you're here in America, you're in it. You're well in it. You're in the furnace. Go ahead.
This is about the spiritual Egypt.
Come.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Damn right. Let's get it.
Absolutely true. We have been displaced. A lot of us don't really understand what slavery actually did to us and how much psychological trauma it did to us regarding what our proper roles are with each other, what our responsibilities are as man and woman in our various communities and relationships. We have never been debriefed from slavery. Not really. We have just,
that's such a heavy statement. We have never been debriefed from slavery, and we haven't. We haven't been taught properly from the time of slavery, from the time that they said that we are free, from the time that they gave us the illusion. I'm doing the quotes. Right. They gave us the illusion of freedom. Slocking y'all, but we have here in Smyrna, Delaware, a fire alarm or a emergency alarm that go off seemingly all the damn time. Slocking. There seems to be always something going on here. Whose phone is that? That's your phone keep beeping? Take it off the whoever's phone keep vibrating. Yeah. Take it off the thing. Oh man, I can't stand this alarm. It's just noisy. It's just in the way. Please be it. There we go. Thank you.
But we don't know how it affected us. We don't know how
I'm gonna run that back real
culture
quick.
we lost.
A little bit.
How much of
the women in his nation.
That's true.
This situation does not exist anyplace else among the billions of people inhabiting our planet except here in America.
That's right.
The other black men, the yellow men, the red men, the brown men, and the white men are all honored and respected by their respective nations. All other women recognize and accept that the man is the authority, the ruler, and the leader. Only here in the United States, in the black nation, scattered throughout the United States, is the black man neglected. That's
Now, do anyone ever question that? Why is it that only black men gets disrespected and gets treated the way he gets treated by his spouse, by his counterpart, by his black female? Why is that? Why is that? And she goes into it. It's because we have never been debriefed from slavery. Like we still have this mindset, this self-preservation mindset. Instead of clinging together like we should be gathering together that nation that's not desired.
Right.
Instead of doing that, we have animosity towards each other. We have this bickering, this fighting, this inward fighting amongst each other.
pretty powerful.
And it's absolutely true. We have been displaced. A lot of us don't really understand what slavery actually did to us and how much psychological trauma it did to us regarding what our proper roles are with each other, what our responsibilities are as man and woman in our various communities and relationships. We have never been debriefed from slavery. Not really. We have just, we know we have that history, but we don't know how it affected us. We don't know how much of our actual culture we lost. How much of our ideas were taken from us. We know that our religion was taken from us. We know that our names were taken from us. But we don't know how many other standards of day-to-day life have been removed. And while we have adopted the American way of doing things, they have not worked for us because we have a very special situation. We are not the same as everyone else. And a lot of the people who want us to pretend that slavery didn't exist or to forget about it, they've never been a slave. So they don't know what we're going through. They don't know what this has done to us. It has made us as black women insecure.
Why not? That's true. Why not take up for us? Why not write something that says
we to take up for us? And we've always had books about black women. How great and how strong we are. And we are that. I'm just saying that we have used our strength in the wrong direction. We have used it against our men instead of standing up for them. And if we start to support our men and to speak a good word for him publicly, then so many people won't be able to come against him and tear him down. And he won't have to feel so frustrated. And he won't be outside away from us looking for peace of mind with women of other nationalities. Because we actually want our own black man. We need him back in our homes, and we want to have one. We're just living in a culture where they're trying to convince us that not only do we not need a man, but there's some other options to having one. And those options mainly are celibacy or lesbianism.
There's an old saying that says, charity begins at home and spreads abroad. And in your book, you say that we're not bringing up our daughters and our sons in a correct manner to respect their fathers.
No, we're not. Unfortunately, as I say, since money has been used as the measure, many times if a black man does not have money to give us, we won't even let him see his children. We won't let him spend any time with it because he does not give us whatever the child support is. And I'm not saying that we don't need money to raise a child, but I try to explain to black women that raising a child consists of much more than feeding, clothing, and sheltering it. That's maintaining one. To raise one, you need a return of the parental coalition of the father and the mother to put the proper values into the child. Many of our boys, when we raise them alone, they grow up with the female emotional mechanism. They are suspicious, they're doubtful, they're disrespectful of womanhood, they're bitchy, they can't make a decision. And many of our girls who grow up in a home where there's no man present, they go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have any idea how to live with a man day to day, how to prepare a proper meal, how to be a mother, how to just be in love in the home. Most of what our people and our children especially have learned about how you have a relationship, they learn off of television. And television doesn't represent our needs. And so a lot of the confusion has come, from outside agencies that we have not recognized just how detrimental it has been to us as a people.
Can I play this?
Thoughts.
Well, she was on it.
See, I want to let the sister go because she was definitely on it. Like you can't, like she put it perfectly, man. Like she explained everything absolutely correct. And it's been detrimental to our family unit. All this outside noise has been detrimental to our family unit because we can't concentrate on our structure. You know what I mean? Because we got these outside influencers that are coming in and disrupting. We call them disruptors. They're outside disruptors that come in and like to disrupt things, like to disrupt the family household in the family structure. You understand? Because they like dysfunction and they thrive off of dysfunction. But we can't be that way. We have to come back to functionality as a black family. You know what I mean? We have to come back and put that household back together. The father, mother, and the child. The father being the head of that woman, and the woman teaching everything that she is learning from her head down to the child, so that we can have a cycle that is righteous once again. You understand? And this is how we start to build a nation. This is how it's done. It's not done overnight. All right. It takes time and it takes work. It takes dedication. It takes sincerity. And you have to be sincere with yourself. You got to be sincere with your heart to know that you are absolutely doing what is righteous in the eyes of the Lord. You understand? One more. And we're going to get up out of here. No, this is not the one I want. All right, well, I'm going to show you what some of the dysfunction, the result of some of the dysfunction. All right, we'll do that and get up out of here. All right. Since I got them as a screensaver, I may as well show you why. And this is what we don't want to imitate. This is what we don't want to emulate right here. We don't want to be these people. We don't want to be like this. We don't want to be this type of couple. Understand? We want to be a functioning family structure. We will have function. And this sister right here just came out and said that she's pregnant. She's carrying a child. And she was pregnant before, but because of the feminist movement, because of Gloria Steinem and who's the one with the abortion? What's her name? What's the chick name that did it's running from me right now. But because of that, we think it's cool to kill our children.
Roe versus Wade?
It was but that was a case that was a case that helped along for us to kill our women, to kill our children, our future nation, without any type of penalty. You know what I mean? So and it gave them quote unquote freedom. It's my body. I can do what I want. You know, all that type of stuff. All that type of stuff is lies. It's not your body. You can't do what you want. Your body don't belong to you. Period. We are on borrowed time here on this plane, and we have absolutely no time to waste, because we have a nation of walking zombies out here that needs to be woken up, that needs to have that breath of life breathed into them again, so that they can become flesh, so that they can live. Understand? And the only way to do that is to come back to our laws, statutes, and commandments. That's it. That's the only way. Margaret Sanger, Tawada Kana, that's her name, that started Planned Parenthood. Tawada. That's her name, Margaret Sanger. She's the one that now it's cool for, or it's okay for abortion clinics to be in every black neighborhood. Like it's a normal thing to see that, or to have Plan B on the shelves of every corner store. You understand? That's still murder. It's still murder. I don't care how you look at it. It's still murder. You don't know who you're killing. You don't. But because America deals in whoredom, because America teaches whoredom, because America wants a nation of whores in whoredom, they agree with this. They encourage it. They encourage this behavior. They encourage this culture of boyfriend, girlfriend, this culture of dating,
right,
and all this nonsense. Like this brother here, he admitted. I mean, this is so disgusting. He admitted that this woman that he's with, since he's been with her, has been with other men, and he's like, what is this? Will and Jada 2.0? I don't understand what I'm watching here. It's a lot. but let's get into this. Let's get into it. Since this is on the screen, like look at this. This is what I don't want our women to emulate and to be like. Because she's gonna look at this years down. Lord willing, she coming to the truth years down the road and see this interview. She's gonna be so ashamed, but it's gonna cause her to be such a righteous sister, because she's not gonna want to ever teach her child that she says she's pregnant with now these type of lessons. So we pray that she coming to the truth. We pray that Blueface coming to the truth. You know what I'm saying? So that we can have some type of moral compass, so that we can have some morals, so that we can't. No, we're not okay with our ribs sleeping with another nigga. Hell no. You belong to them now. You're for the streets. And that's all it is to it. We don't allow it in here UPK. Period. All right. You like women always have this mindset. Well, if men can have multiple wives, why can't I have multiple husbands? Because you are a field and men have seed. Men plant seed into a field. You don't plant multiple seeds into one plot. It just don't make sense. You're gonna plant an apple tree, an orange tree, a grapefruit tree, you name it. You're gonna plant it all in one soil and then cover the dirt up and then see what grows? That's disgusting. That's unnatural behavior, and it's not meant to be. Right. That's why you can't have multiple husbands, because it don't make sense. So get out of that mindset, that whorish mindset, that whorish question. That's a whore question. Why can't I have multiple husbands? That's a whore question. You got to get out of that mindset. The Bible don't teach it nowhere. Period. Salakia, I just get a little animated about certain stuff. Foolishness.
I was upset with you. I called you a bitch.
So why did you hit him with a cut?
What?
Why did you hit him with a cut?
What do you mean? Why did I hit him with a cut?
That's how why you thinking about it, because you ain't even got the truth on you. That's why you repeated it. You think I don't know?
Bro, she's
you a hell of a babysitter, bro.
I'm telling you.
You good as hell. Whoa.
I'm telling you.
See, look. Do that, baby.
That type of shit.
I'm listening.
Couple drinks after that, you're going to be like, I'm not even going to think about it.
No, because you were repeating. You was like this. Why did I hit him with a cup? I thought you was going to come off because such and such, such and such.
I hit him with a cup because the nigga wanted, like, yeah.
I'm saying something so different.
You said your hand was fucked up? You said your hand was injured?
Yeah, so yeah. I hit him with a cup.
What's that?
What are you saying?
That's very violent.
Yeah,
just re-injure your hand with a cup. What's up?
So let's get violent.
But you see the weakness in him. He's sitting here laughing and giggling about this whole incident where he got hit in the head with a glass, and she was vacuuming the glass out of his head. Like this is their history. They always fighting. Like this is their history here. And this is a byproduct of being in a dysfunctional family, raised up.
Right.
When you're being raised. This is the byproduct. This is the dysfunction that comes out of not having the man and the woman raising a child. Without having both parents in that household, so that the child can see the balance, so that the child can see how dad reacts, how mom reacts. and vice versa.
If one day you actually heard him and he's not here with us no more.
She don't get
Rock, can I ask you a question?
Give me Slap. Give me Ecclesiasticus 25.
No, I said
26.
That's bad. I'm not
that
saying you're
mentality.
bad.
Saying the
I
mentality.
said that's bad. No, but are you supposed to sit there and always try to be the prove man, bitch? You don't have to prove everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing to
I
prove.
don't want to prove shit.
You did by hitting him with a cup.
Cause I have a right to express myself, nigga.
With a cup, you getting hit?
Yeah.
That's expressive.
Yeah. My hands fucked
Good
up.
Lord.
I can't hit you with my right hand.
I can only imagine what shit like she feels like getting.
Wait,
this
hold on.
real.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm scared right now.
It's to the point where it's like you have to contest that. You feel me? Like not as
So you got stalked on?
not a stranger. I'm saying it's to the point where it's like as a man, you're gonna feel like you have to go there. The walk off, mic drop, it's bad. Fool. I'm telling you, it's bad.
He said, listen to him. He's saying, I'm telling you, it's bad. Like what are we watching here? I'm done. I can't keep I can't keep watching this. Like I'm done. What like what's going on? No one's making a ration. No one's making a what you call it? An adult decision. I'll put it that way.
Right.
No one's doing the right thing here. Like he's encouraging that behavior. Like we have to be able to know how to conflict resolute, know how to diffuse, and know how to deal with our spouses. All right. So that way we can stay together, because we don't promote leaving. I don't promote for this brother to leave this sister. He's with her. Like of course they're in the world. Like they're not in the truth. Understand? But if they was in the truth, he couldn't leave this sister. You know what I mean? He would have to continuously go to General Mahima for counseling. Continuous. This will be a continuous counsel session right here. Like continuous. That's a lot. Because this is everything wrong with the black household. And imagine, this is on social media and on the internet and whatnot, but imagine all the households that this goes on in. Can you imagine all the households that this occurs in? This just doesn't occur where we can see it on social media. This goes on behind closed doors in different households. You understand? And if we don't get re-educated, if we don't have some type of morality, we don't come back to our laws, statutes, and commandments, we are doomed as a people, and we will never have the black family back together again as a unit. It just won't happen. It can't happen, because you're not going to agree on anything. You're going to be constantly in a state of war. Give me verse. Start with verse 8, because this is what we just witnessed right here. Verse 8 is what we just witnessed with this chick.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 8. A drunk woman and a gatherer abroad causes great anger, and she will never cover her own shame.
Right. Like she's drunk, got all the mouth in the world. Like you can't. If you watch the interview, he was like, Blueface was like, man, you can't get her. You can't get her to stop. You can't get her. Like the brother trying to conduct an interview, and she keeps just going on and on and on and on and on, because he brought up the incident where she broke glass over his head. So what? I'm not supposed to ask about that? You're on my platform, and the people want to know. So it's a triggering subject for you, of course, but you got to deal with that. But because you're drunk and you're a gatterer or a broad, like you don't have you're verse 26. I think that is 25. Read verse 25.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
And that's what the whole breaking the glass over his head was about, because he called her a female dog. And y'all know what the word I'm talking about. It starts with a B. All right? That's what the whole argument was about. Because he called, but yet they'll let their little homosexual friends call him that. Their girlfriends will call him that. But as soon as it come out of a real man's mouth, it's a problem. You know what I mean? I got all kind of issues with it now. Oh, you shouldn't be calling me a this and that. But now you're acting real. The Bible tells me what you are. Read it again. Read it again, because she was absolutely shameless.
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
She was absolutely shameless in everything she was doing. Like, I didn't get to the part where she had to get drugged off the set. I didn't even want to get to that part. She was kicking and screaming and doing all kind of nonsense. She was shameless because of the alcohol she had consumed. She was just out of her mind, man. And that's why if you can't handle certain things, you shouldn't be indulging in certain things. All right?
Right.
So the moral of the lesson today is, if you got your man, keep your man.
Yeah, right.
Period.
Right. Shit.
Cherish your man. Uplift your man. Talk positive to your man and through your man and about your man. In his presence and out of his presence. Honor that man. You understand? It's time for women to honor our black men again. You understand? And change the narrative that has been written about our black men, that has been talked about and broadcast on television and so forth and so on about us. That we're no good. We're just drug dealers. That we're just a bunch of whores. You know what I mean? Like in that the Ali video, she even in that interview, the woman said something about so he can cheat, and she stopped her right then and there in her tracks. That's why I encourage you to go back and watch that whole interview. She stopped her right there in her tracks and was like, who taught us the definitions of these words that we're using? Because she's an advocate for a man having multiple wives. She's for that because she knows that's part of our culture, and we didn't learn this monogamy mess until we got over here, and it was instilled into us by our oppressor. Before that, our nation was built on one man having 4 wives.
Right.
All right. We call ourselves Israelites because of that very fact. So if you don't want to be an Israelite, you know what I mean, then I'm sorry, but if you black, Hispanic, Native Indian, you ain't got no choice. But you can choose to stay over there if you so choose. I don't know who would choose death, because that's what that is, choosing death instead of coming back and keep and maintaining and keeping your own culture, your own heritage, so that we can one day rule this earth with Christ. Like I don't know who in their right mind would willingly give that up, but yet every day we have people that's turning down this message. And every day we have women who are offended because of a man is able to have multiple wives, because they don't know how to handle it, because they have been miseducated here in this kingdom, in this stinking empire. When it's time for that re-education, it's time for us to get rewash our brains now with the right stuff. Rewash our brains with our culture, our heritage, our laws, statutes, and commandments. Our brains need to be washed all over again. and remove that filth that we have been beaten, that have been beaten into us through slavery, through Jim Crow, through redlining, and through all these other means of oppression that this cunning serpent has so cunningly instituted through policies like we read earlier and laws. You understand? Know that these policies and laws aren't for our best interest. And know this also, if America loved them, it wasn't good for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right. Period. And America loves Martin Luther King. America loves him because he was absolutely detrimentally harmful and destructive to the Black community, and to the Black family, and to the Black household. Absolutely destructive. He destroyed it. And now it's time to build it back again by waking up out of that nightmare and coming back and remembering and bethinking ourselves, like Solomon said. Like Solomon said, we got to bethink ourselves in the land of our captivity. We got to come back to our senses. We got to shake it off, knock it out. We got to wake up, get them coals out your eyes, put some water on your face, brush your teeth, wake up. Damn it, and live by these laws, statutes, and commandments, and honor the Most High with your life. Honor the Most High by obeying the ordinances that He set forth, which is God, Christ, man, woman, child. If you go out of that order in any way, you're not in this truth.
Don't forget the dog.
And the who?
The dog. Because people today make their dog their kids.
It's a lot.
Hey, we in Babylon. It's a lot.
I understand, but Salaka, we'll have to get some scriptures on the dogs later. But we're going to talk about these people right now because we definitely need them right. You understand? And because once we get right, treating our pets ain't gonna be a problem. It's not gonna be. We ain't gonna abuse our pets because we know how we ought to be treated. Because we have been taught properly. Because we have the right structure in our households. Right. All right, and that's what it's all about. Getting the right structure back into our households and doing what is right in the eyes of the Lord. All right. And with that being said, we're gonna turn the class over to Priest and Officer Tasha.
All right, it's the ISUPK security announcement. Rules for new brothers and new sisters. When a new brother and new sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to learn and to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if you have an interest in a particular person, seek counsel from the head. Tithing, which is a commandment. Ma'asharah means 10th in Hebrew. That's Numbers. Chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. That's 10% of any increase the Lord give to you. Priest fund is not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give, you may give. Up and coming Holy Convocation. All right. We got the Feast of Purim. The Feast of Purim will be March the 5th and 6th. It'll be right here at 202 North DuPont Boulevard. All right. If you're in Delaware, you need to get down here and join the feast. We have a feast day. Remember, it'll be March the 5th and the 6th. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, pants, scarf, headband. And saying that, we're going to give the brothers a courtesy salute. Amidrum. Men of Israel. Amidrum Shabbat. Amidrum. Barak. Yahaba Hashem Yahweh Barakatham. Yat Yom Matah. Sar means to turn. We're going to face the sisters. Sisters stand. Amidrum means to stand. Men of Israel. Amidrum Shabbat. Amidrum. Barak. Yahweh Shabbat. Thumba Hashem Yahweh. Yat Yom Matah. Class dismissed. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I know she got Shorty got a video, right? The
Ali girl.
Yeah, she got not over here. She got she got a video. I walk down. No, you leave that there. Hey yo, she got a video. She got a video where she talking about she did a speech and she invited all these women and no women showed up. It was like